And that was a nail-biting way to start this elimination match. I'm now joined by the coach of GX, Aska. Now, Aska, I know you guys haven't had the easiest couple of days. There's been a lot of challenges, but how much confidence do you think that map win is going to give your players to get back on track?
I think it was really important to get our first map. Like, personally, I think this map was still a little bit, it was very shaky in general. But I think the last couple rounds, we actually got the comms that we need and the pre-plans and everything. And I think now we are starting to feel more comfortable in the server.
Oh, I can't wait to see it, especially with Ascent coming up as well. Best of luck.
Thank you.
A little bit shaky, but a win is a win nonetheless, right? And we see GIANTX taking that first map. I wonder though, because this was a lot closer than I expected, especially from ALG, right? Bringing it very, very close to GIANTX. So I wonder if this is more about what ALG also did, like, right in this time around, and, the little minor mistakes that GIANTX had.
Yeah, I think, I got a little bit of that vibe that they're still nervous, that we're still testing the waters and not very sure after what happened against EMEA. And on the side of ALG, we saw a lot of progression in the sense that they were not that scared anymore, especially later in the game when they were on the defense, just going on the aggression, not letting them set themselves to get the spike down and having to deal with the Viper later on.
Yeah, and even then, you look at the attack side, Lion was able to find a lot of space. The mid lurks were successful, catching off Miori, facing, well, maybe less successful when they hadn't pulled the rotations and Jolina was still in position because she was having a lights out game, which is very noteworthy. Last time we saw them, I think on Haven, with obviously the proper roster, they played in the Spotlight offseason, but when you look at G2, the matchup they had in Turkey, Jolina, from what I remember, there was like one noteworthy round, and this time there was one round maybe where she wasn't present.
Yeah, and this was a good match, or a good map rather, for the OMEN players, right? You had Jolina definitely putting up the numbers, but you also had some from Yusin, right? And this brings us to our HyperX reflex moment of the map, and this one goes to Yusin in this play.
Yeah, exactly. I believe this was an ace, right? And it was a nail biter from beginning to end, but it's especially this round and this individual brilliance that they were comfortable in showing today, right? Like the individuals are showing, like the way she's isolating the kills, the way that she's moving, but she's also keeping the awareness once she gets the kill. Yeah, she gets out of bullets, but she has to check her back, turns out immediately to see if somebody else is pushing her, and gets the ace.
Yeah, again, keeping a cool head in these sort of games where we do come in expecting that GX will be heavier hitters. Someone like Smurfette, well, when you're already complaining about the level, or at least taking note of the level being higher than expected, someone like Smurfette will usually put you in the grave. But they were able to go blow for blow with them here. Again, the caveat is this is not a strong map for GX. The next two maps are decent and not good ones for ALG because they haven't played them.
Yeah, it's a big question mark, right? Absolutely no data at all, which can be a double-edged sword, I feel. But, you did have Jolina bringing up, I feel like carrying the energy of the team, especially in those final rounds, right? And that's why I feel like, it's definitely a player to watch out for when push comes to shove, because she's been a rock for GIANTX so far. Let's have a look at her performances here at GCC so far.
Do not forget, this is her debut internationally, like globally. And I feel like especially the other day and today, look at how those numbers keep going up. Even in the maps that they were losing, she was putting up the numbers. She was feeling good about herself, and we could always tell when she was present in the map. And she was one of the main reasons that they were able to close this, because there was a lot of high-risk plays in which Jolina had to be the refrag, get a couple of kills in the round. And honestly, GIANTX is so lucky to have her right now.
Yeah, and a player on fire, thinking about where we'll go, guaranteed at this point for GX, unless they win 2-0, we're going to Pearl. That's somewhere that Jolina on Astra was on fire last time that we saw them up against MIBR. So I'm not expecting it to get any easier for ALG, as they now need to take the next two maps.
Definitely not, and I'm very curious to see what they have to say about this. So let's hear what Akuri had to say ahead of map 2.
Luna to do some translations. Now, map 1 was so close. It felt like maybe you could have actually won that map. So what do you think the difference was, and how do you prepare to change things for map 2?
那其实第一张图打得很焦灼，很接近嘛。其实我们是有机会能够拿下的。你觉得没有拿下的原因是什么呢？以及第二张图会做出怎样的转变？
我觉得我们还是状态的调整吧。我们也缺了一点运气。 在图一没有拿到胜利，但我想下张图我们会调整回来的，在一间空岛，对。
I think it's about our adjustment and a lack of lucky. but I think we're gonna do our adjustment well on next map.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much and good luck.
A combination of strategy and luck is what needs to come through here for ALG, as you heard from the coach himself. And I feel like, you know, ALG, they aren't exactly taking this as an entire loss, right? You can tell that the energy is still up for this team, and I feel like they know, you know, what went right for them and what they have to do in order to close this one. It's just that, again, Mitch brought it up as well. There's no data here on Ascent for ALG, so it's a big question mark, but is that advantageous for Giant X is my big question.
I have a number here. Is it advantageous for Giant X? This one is for you, Mitch. This lower third, I got just for you. Because one thing that we know in EMEA is that Ness is going to be playing with that Odin. I know that you're a big fan, but 37% of the rounds that she plays on the defense, she's playing with this gun. Bear in mind, think about the rounds where you do not have money. That is already a big chunk of them. This is a map where Giant X has to feel very, very comfortable. I love the fact that Smurfette was taking those duels, even if she was going down, because on this defense, she's going to have to do the same.
Well, it looks like a mirror matchup here for these two teams. No big surprises, and I'm not surprised myself because like they want to play safe for this. Again, this is an elimination match, right?
Definitely the lesser evil, right?
Yeah, look, I think this is the right call all around. If ALG come in with a Phoenix or something like that, I think we're really rolling dice that we have no business playing with. For GX, a map that they're quite strong on, one that they don't have any tape to go over for their opponents, but it is Ascent, and we know that this is going to be a tough battle for ALG. Got to watch out for Smurfette. That Jet is going to be a difficulty to deal with.
And especially with them starting on the defense, right? I'm looking at Shimilu. I think that she was having a good performance on the first one, and I need a better showing of Genie as well.
Well, let's find out if this one can make it to a map number 3 and send it back to your casters. Here's Panpot.
Okay, Panpot, yeah, I think we're running with the branding now. But map 2, let's kind of, you know, really close in on this because I guess historically Giant X have found comfort here. This has been a good map for them. Happy to lean back into it. We're walking into the dark with ALG. Very little historically, at least able to be seen. So I guess we have to learn as we go along here. What are you looking out for to maybe give tales of comfort or, you know, concepts here that they're going to be coming out with?
Well, that's a tough one. It's Ascent, so they better look somewhat comfortable on Ascent coming into the World Championship. So ALG, I think, you know, having this cookie cutter comp is something that most teams feel very comfortable with. Starting on the defense, they've got to get this, rather they're starting on the attack. It would help them out a lot on this momentum, of course, to start off with this pistol round win. See Muffin trying to get this timing towards this cat. See if this Killjoy setup is there, and it is there. Mayori completely ready.
And for Giant X, they should have a good idea because they already used a lot of their util to try and clear through towards B main. That flash, the shock dart to follow. So you already see the early rotation coming in from Sarah. Right. Muffin, what are we going to do with this? Jelena just trying to live her life in the smoke and makes her presence known at the perfect time. Picking up where she left off after map 1. Ooh, a little uncomfortable at the end. That's fine, ALG, that's fine. Everything's fine. It's all good. It's a 2v2. We don't have to, we can cut that bit out. Plants now in. What do we have? Muffin on one side, using there. Ness and Smurfette on the other. Smurfette still has a little bit of smoke to work with. That is tasty. Doing some serious damage. Muffin couldn't quite snap to the shot, leaving just Yusin alive. And cleared in the end, diffuses there.
What a beast move coming through the duo in Ness and Smurfette. Love the dash to crosshair displace there, but it's all about Jolena. You know, the Des talked about on map 1, just carrying her squad through. I thought that blind combo was going to be everything, but the fact that Jolena got blinded herself and held on to that blind, didn't give away her location, resulted in 2 beautiful frags for herself there. So the setup, though, is what I appreciated coming out from the defense. All the while, ALG, they did handle it well. I mean, they were able to get past that KJ setup at short A, but unable to convert that 2v2.
So,
you know, surprised to see a Marshall instead of Outlaw coming out for Smurfette, but she's just preparing for that bonus.
yeah. As it stands, one way is in place, so going to be a little bit tougher to disrespect that without investing a great deal behind it. So Jelena again gets to control this space. Life is here, so could do rather well. Let's see if Jelena gets affected by any of this. Here it comes. And she will, so she'll be forced back to this. No more smokes for now, so that gets them at least past that first challenge.
Something I'm going to be keeping an eye out throughout this whole tournament, Lauren, is what teams are keeping in mind, what Jets or what Neons love to force the Outlaw in the second round. Because you can see 2 Sheriffs on the board here for ALG. They're going to be on half armor going into that bonus. So it's just a little tally that I'm keeping up on the side. Quick tip versus SR. Don't buy Deagle on the second, please.
Please. Hopefully someone learns that lesson. For now, it's Muffin not be able to get in towards this one, but you said, good shot here. Jolina, again, still finding so much impact. There is a chance in this. Look at Lane, still with that Sheriff, and Sarah stops all the fun from happening. That could have been something, but still, nicely handled, still a little bit damage done. Yeah, you're going to be walking away happy enough with that. Golf clap.
I love that eco. Hey, if I'm the person who was at lane that did all the damage on Sarah, I did damage, guys.
Nice.
Great W round.
Huge.
Great eco.
W round. Every time you say it, like a little part of me dies.
Why?
I don't know. It's changed how I see you. It looks like we're going to be going back towards that B main control. They started this one off with the pistol. Again, there's normally the shock dart coming out from Ness as well. Flash in from Sarah. Let's see how this looks. There are players on the other side here. Very early work towards the turret, so that's going to keep a little bit of an issue for ALG. But for now, they're playing patiently. It shouldn't be a huge problem.
I think for GX, they are just not going to rotate. You can see a Bucky in the back of Mayuri here. She wants to stand her ground and not move a muscle the entire round. And look at where ALG are regrouping to. KO is quickly buy and spawn Sarah with those flashes in her back pocket.
Last time they had the knife to kind of clear through. They used a bit of util to kind of force players away. I guess it was because of the one-way, but still, this then gets you rocked and ready. You can see just waiting. Yuri, that is going to be devastating. And the smoke now goes in, but she doesn't have to back away far. Just a little bit of a new angle, play around this. The outer has to come in. Does spot her. Okay, that's should be Miori dead, but it's Jelena keeping them alive.
Sarah's here now. She's got the molly and flashes.
Oh, that's huge. This is the bonus.
Yeah, refreshing the second smoke really puts ALG in another pickle. The fact that Shimilu just had to burn that dart as well doesn't give them anything. They've got to wait out this smoke.
They've got so little to play with it. You know, I guess the paranoia, the flash, the knife, but Miori is so unwilling to move away, and you can see why. She's still cooking. She's still going. And now a 3v2, but the util they have to break through, and the time, 10 seconds. They have to go or they have to save. That's it. That's the options. They want to draw a line in the sand here. They don't want any of this usage, just trying to hold her breath to not get spotted. But Sarah on the drive-by, upgrades galore as well. 3 Vandals walking away from that, and a bonus round converted. The Bucky strikes again.
And Ginny said, get me out of here. I want nothing to do with this. Good luck, Yusin.
See ya.
You're probably a goner, but I'm taking my Vandal and I'm out. But luckily, she will be able to bring that into this 4th round. I'd love to see her drop that over towards Muffin. Ginny's got the flashes in her back pocket. Try to get an entry for yourselves with that hero rifle if you're on ALG's side. And for GX, what a bonus. It all came back down to Miori with that Bucky in her back pocket.
Again, this is going to just condition ALG that they have to invest so much to clear these close corners. There is no free rounds in this. It's a very, very costly effect. Smurfette, does she explore deeper? No, being very careful on her angles here. She's getting curious, and that dash is dissipating.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that was really close.
It's fine. We're fine.
Everything's fine.
Nice little reset.
Get rid of the alarm bot above a minute. That's fine. Again, everything fine. Very defaulty. We love defaults.
Hey, it's a good spread right now. ALG are feeling good. They better be communicating with each other to put some sort of M3 smoke down. There it is from Muffin.
Oh, and they don't even know about the player in the corner. Ness is there as well. It's a 3-play stack. A real focus. I like that they dealt with the alarm bot. I'd love to them back away, you know, going through the kind of protocol list of just, you know, the Ascent basics, but shot from Shimilu. But any more? No. Okay. So now down to Yusin. And yeah, you can see Jelena already prepared and locked in. So aware on that timing. Clean stuff from Giant X. They'll be happy with this.
Yeah, beautiful defense coming out so far for GX. And there was a moment where I got nervous.
Yeah.
And that generally happens when the attackers get that M1 position and they're able to really stay grouped. That 3-2-1 pounce between B main and M1 is something that attackers really take advantage of. But GX handled it well. And Smurfette, with that operator on her back, she doesn't want to mess around with the aggressive forward A mains. She wants to hide in this attack attic spot rather and dodge those KO flashes. Oh, I know this play.
Like this. Yeah, you seen this one before?
Beautiful flash start combo to try to get that spam for Nest. The desk was talking about it.
I really hope the ALG start warming into this map because I'm worried they're going to go missing. They have their faces on milk cartons. Did they? They must have done.
They saw Smurfette off the... And that's the key thing. Smurfette had to stay tucked in there, dodging and listening for that drone, listening for the KO flash, then peek out. But the jig is up. ALG are handling it well. KJ versus KJ towards this B main. Depending on what kind of info, or rather map control.
But you can see just having this player pushed up towards B main, even though there is a challenge on this, it's keeping them happy enough, keeping 3 towards it. Yeah, they're peeling Jolina back, but still, a lot of faith in this. Now they've got to respond, right? Now they have to respond. It's a 3-2 split, straight through towards B. The paranoia comes in, but it's Miori to strike. Jolina is here. Smokes in play as well. Could pop a quick smoke down. Paranoia unaffected. Jolina just going to hold the line. Oh, the catwalk! And absolutely walks through all 3 of them. Giant X in control.
That smoke that Jolina put down in the site right before she shoots her gun gives her the time. Just that slight misdirect allows her to get a triple kill. What a sequence of events coming out here for GX. And once again, it was ALG with that M1 control. That pinch was so beautiful. Miori had no chance. But Jolina with a triple.
Nice, guys. Nice, Jolina.
What a response.
Wow, this has got to be panic stations a little bit, right? If you're ALG, as I said, I was a little worried it's going to be faces on milk cartons time going missing. After a great map 1, really competitive, so impressive. Those executes were fantastic, the aggression. But we were worried because they don't have historical reps on this map. But everyone should be able to play Ascent, but it's that depth, that comfortable element to it. And right now, they're not looking like the same sort of team, right? It looked great on map 1. Map 2, I'm worried they're looking a little absent.
They are, and you know, that's where those reps really come through to play. This little choke point here at that lane, you've got to be able to pause. Yeah, it is so hard to pause when you're in that position. You're getting spammed, you might be getting pinged, you might be half blind. So it's natural instinct to push forward and try to find cover for yourself, but it's power in numbers. You've got to create a trade opportunity for your teammate behind you. So for Jolina, it was an incredible round, but for ALG's side of things, you cannot allow a multi-kill like that to happen from the solo anchor.
Time to turn up. 6th round here. They are on Sheriffs. They've got a couple of ults, though. If they try and make a stand here, if they get maybe a good start, they've always been deadly. There's been a couple of scares, but Giant X have been keeping that upper hand, but still. Focus up. Let's see how this looks.
Get out of my way.
Have a different start here, but patience from ALG.
Slower start the knife, giving ALG a little bit of information to start. ALG really want to find the weak side of the map to be able to pounce with Muffin's knives here. They didn't like what they saw at A. You can see the adjustments coming through here for this. This Omen blind would be very helpful. It looks like Yusin does want to regroup back towards. They've got to send everything to send Muffin up for success here. Find some sort of opening.
This just feels like a blender. Ness is here. The timing on this dart is massive.
Dark Duty team?
There it is. Someone's got to do it or it's going to be death. And that is devastating. Straight head first in. Muffin desperate to try and find impact. And it is just a massacre on the other side. Shimilu and Yusin trying to hold on, but you can see it. They're just trying to get this round done. They're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. But Yusin last alive in a 1v3.
30 seconds left.
Brutality, but Smurfette 4 HP is enough. That was gutting.
Gutting for sure, and the fact that Smurfette on that 4 HP has the boldness to move forward like that, risk it, and still wipe her out. That's the HP communications coming through for GX, and that's a huge indicator that they are feeling good right now. All the communications coming through, all the information, and just doubling down on being dominant on this B defense.
I mean, the desk brought it up, right? The amount of times we're going to be seeing this Odin, it's something you're going to have to be very cognizant of. It has to be in your mind, and that was a very quick learning lesson as to why. It's punishing. Smurfette going to show off at least where the operator is for now. No surprises at this point. Knife, I think, again, going to at least find one here. Same player, the Omen again. And look, Jolina is just taking this fight. Does have support here. Wow. Loses out. Yusin going to be traded up by Sarah's nade, but still, they are so willing to brawl here.
What an insane trade as well. Smoke for smokes. This is going to hurt ALG more than it's going to hurt GX. Sarah unable to escape, just barely.
Good punish here. I like this. ALG punishing some of this over-aggression almost from Giant X. And look, if you're feeling confident, I don't blame you for trying it. It can really be demoralizing to play against teams who are just so in your face. But for now, this is a quick reminder. ALG going to try and claw back around here. 2v4 would be devastating as a loss. It would be great for ALG.
Both members tagged by that knife. Oh, but Mayori was able to sneak across.
You know about Muffin now as well, so got to be a bit careful here. As Mayori is still alive, it's a 1v2, and suddenly things aren't looking all that rosy. Doesn't know about the player behind. Oh my god, absolutely she does. Are you serious right now? Shimilu is going to keep a safe pair of hands on this, but bloody hell, that was too close.
Too close. But the damage is going to mean so much going through for the rest of this half as well for ALG. Look at the ultimates on the board here as well. Ginny finally coming on board with that KO ult. This should help going into this next round for that fast change of pace round. And look at that flank coming through.
Nice!
Barely
you take them
across.
You take them when you get them. You got to try and take any silver lining here. But again, if Giant X then just kind of tighten things back up, go back to what was working, not overdoing too much, they can kind of be a bit more comfortable. This is the big teller. This is the big one. You got ults to play with for ALG. You got a buy in hand. You got to do something great with this.
Huge swing round. Sarah still got one flash in her back pocket. Beautiful reaction.
Yeah, nice. Good info. Jolina as well. Spotting out a big idea of what's coming, basically. But now Ness doesn't want out to say her welcome either. So very, very cautious now, kind of pausing for thought.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that smoke coming out here for GX, but fortunately for them, ALG did not take advantage of them cutting off their own line. Have to pull back. The pressure was too much, but here it is. The pace match is great for ALG here.
Jolina just got a paranoia in hand, waiting for the Sarah. As soon as contact's there, now here comes the swing. It is stunning. Just perfect work between each other. So prudent in approach. They paused for just that KO ult before, and then the re-hit. They're all here as well. Smurfette has to deal with it, but still Jolina controlling over towards Catwalk, still trying to do the damage, but Ginny succeeding. It's a 3v2. Spike can go down. No one to contest this just yet. Ness could invest that ult, doesn't do so. Shimilu does have hers, and I like this, what Ginny's up to. It's a bit audacious, it's a bit risky, but you need to make these choices, try and make things happen. The lockdown coming in as well. This now puts it on a time limit. It's all here, it's all now. That's one, and a second would be God-given to at least denies. The lockdown goes back in for second. Smurfette is there. Now a 1v2. Shimilu is sat on the site, waiting this one out, dropping down on one, sees them, but can't deal with it. Smurfette breaking hearts.
The movement, the B-hop coming through there for Smurfette, completely ruining the spray down, unfortunately. And man, you gotta feel for Ginny there in such a power position to completely turn the tides of the round. Unfortunately, that lockdown, that power of choice, couldn't decide whether do I kill the person or do I go for the lockdown. Decides to help her teammate out and secure the lockdown kill, but unfortunate. And it was such a good start for ALG too. I love that they paused at that cat to allow Shimilu to get more forward. I wish though that as soon as Ginny popped that ult, that drone was already in the air so they could identify the setup and actually space into the site. Ginny's ult went off, no one got control, no one got space. So GX able to hold down the fort, and this has been an ongoing thing at A main for GX's side. The confidence, the re-swings, they're completely dominating the opening portion of this A main.
That one way is just so oppressive. It's so hard to handle. See, the Sarah's aware they're going to probably try and swing through this. Still going to hold her ground, though. The paranoia is going to come out. Does affect as many as she wanted, but Jolina's got her back. But until then, Sarah now starting to pop off. It is confidence personified. And ALG are down in the doldrums here.
Wow, they even added a Sova ult to add insult to injury on top of that one. A little overkill, but hey, message received. A domination coming out for the side of GX, but hopefully for GX, they don't miss that ult coming to this next round. You can see Leyen has that KJ ult online here as well. And with Leyen lingering around outside this B main, she's gonna try to mind game versus this Odin that's been controlling it and maybe see if there's some sort of timing to place this down, but it's a spread. ALG, they want to slow this round down.
Uh-oh, run. Run away. Run away really, really quickly. They're so confident on these fights in the extremities. Oh, that's a shot! Leyen, that was clean as hell. Smurfette gets punished. And all the meanwhile, this is still going towards A. Jolina, though, going to take the counter space, almost pushing back towards A main. Now going to force their hand. Muffin, though, trying to get close towards as well. Isolate the fights, and she does so. Jolina still holding her ground a little bit deeper. She's causing 3 players to go hunt, but she turns the flash. Muffin is on the chase, though. Now a 3v2. Miori is going to spot a player, doesn't get what she wants, dips away. They're staying as this 3-play pack, trying to divide and conquer, I guess.
That will allow them, though, to find the gap, get in towards this A site, get the spike down. Not a lot of utility on the back of Ness or Mayori. They gotta depend on their weaponry. Good flash.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
What the?
Miori, no. This could be devastating. Miori now in a power position, keeping all eyes turned towards her. Shimilu has to pick her target. Which fight can she try and handle first? And she knows time is ticking. Ness is there.
That hurts. That hurts if you're ALG. That was the round that they could have turned things around. I love the pack mentality. The way that Muffin updrafts towards that A main creates the quick high-low trade to be able to dominate that one. But man, unfortunate that flashbang doesn't result in a kill for Muffin. Just the smallest of margins so far, but GX, by the scoreline, they're dominating. But these rounds have come down to the wire, and the heroics of individuals from Jolina to Smurfette to Ness, all these players stepping up huge, and ALG, they feel like they don't have an answer. They can't get B main control. They can't win this A main fight.
It's a brutal game, this, isn't it?
Too suppressed.
Sarah unaffected. So again, it feels like rinse and repeat, doesn't it? Do they have something else to work with here? Well, in the meantime, Aldron just got used towards that B side, so you're already seeing no contact on that court. I'm going to head on over towards A. Smurfette, eyes on, understanding there's going to be a whole lot of light shields.
Not ready.
There is indeed. A couple of ults to play with, though.
You can see ALG are feeling less confident about their game plan. All 5 members really stuck together here. That KJ ultimate's not going to get them too much. They've got to be able to properly space beat. You can see the pings coming out on the map, showing where the gaps are.
There's a lot of space, and that outlaw looks scary. And yeah, you can see the spam's even scarier. Ness doesn't have to move.
Oh no!
Honda's Fury come out, but Yusin's the one to get it. Shimilu's trying desperately to find these players, but still they hold the line. The dart going to go in, does get destroyed, so no value off of that one. Maybe a little bit of chip damage here, but the plant's going to come in. 3 players desperate to get another round on the board. Give themselves a buffer, give themselves a chance. With the flash in, and slowly they come out, start filtering up from heaven. Sarah absolutely tearing apart the site hold as Miori just dives in. This is looking over.
Power in numbers, Lauren. Every single member of the defenders there were completely blind. Everyone's screen was completely white, but when you have that many stuck together, you just press M1 and pray, and it worked out for GX. They're able to completely wipe out ALG there. Unfortunate. I'd like to see in this last round, Lauren, ALG do a spread, right? We saw Leyen actually able to punish Smurfette 3 rounds ago towards this B main. Spread out, slowly dissect, get a little bit of map control before you actually commit to a site.
Come into the unknown.
And it does look like they've got that spread here. Leyen outside B main.
Get out of my way.
Do they get the punish this time? Can they find what they're after? The battle of B main about to break out again. Looking towards middle here. Got to be careful. See that hesitation. This map doesn't feel fair for them right now. A lot of fear in every step they're taking. Gonna remove the turret. Follow up, and there's still a player on that deeper angle, so she should know that no one's progressed further, but they're gonna keep their players doubled up here. Is that them just a little mini high-low? Yeah. That's rotten luck if they go around that corner.
That was great information for Jolina. That's gonna leave Smurfette to just maintain M1, not move a muscle. Oh boy, this spray down.
Yeah, this is really hard. They back away. Nice timing on the ult here. The Paranoia not going to find what they wanted, but Muffin can maybe then gap close. No, Miori, again, still so confident to stand out in the open. Finally punished on the nade, but Ness still here. There's still a smoke in play, so if anyone tries to come through, it is just going to be another massacre. Getting stalled out, but I like this from Yusin. Takes away Sarah, but the rest of the team try and join up, and now it's all problems. Yusin desperate to be the hero that they need, but 2 HP is so little. The shock dart could have done it itself, but it is the Giant X with such a punishing half here. 11-1. I don't know what you're meant to do.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't the forward crossfires, it was the secondary crossfires in the back lines. It was GX being one step ahead this entire first half.
Yeah, and speaking of one, ALG only have one round. Come back after the break, as hopefully they can get some more. The gravitas of this situation just keeps compounding. 11-1. This is, it is one-sided to say the least. It feels like it was ride or die on map 1, right, Christine?
It was, and unfortunately, we've seen kind of the energy being drawn out of ALG round by round early in that first half, and that's the tough thing, you know, stage experience, that's where that starts to come in, and you really believe, hey, it doesn't matter what the scoreline is, we got this, and that sort of hope really means a lot. So for ALG, you know, it was a tough first half, but they had the pieces moving. It was just GX being a little bit ahead of the trigger, but a lot of opportunities in that first half.
Yeah, and I think you can see the difference when you kind of consider how map 1 felt with, you know, those great looks, set pieces, really good damage and good overall looks from ALG. Obviously wasn't enough. They got very close at 13-10, but here, as you say, it's that little bit extra, that 10, 20, 30% even, that's just not quite there. And 11-1, we lock in again. Giant X this time on the attack, and look, if it's round by round, it's got to start with the pistol. If they don't get it, they're going home. So away we go. Beautifully done. Leon, though, just going to skip ahead. Completely ignore the player behind, but Smurfette is very much making an impression and ensuring the cross is now in.
Such a good entry, Smurfette, completely ruining that crossfire. But this flood, they've got to be able to handle it. Sarah still has a molly and a flash in her back pocket.
Get that spacing right, get the timing right. Paranoia could be huge, the flash could be huge. Muffin could be waiting for that jump off point. Paranoia gets sent. Smurfette takes a fight towards stairs and is looking like it's going from bad to worse. Ginny, you gotta do something here. Try and save ALG. This would be the start, or it might just be the end of things. Sarah and Smurfette, yeah, this one might have just been that nail in the coffin. 12-1. ALG with their last chance.
Dominant and decisive. That was GX pulling out one of their set pieces, probably a round that they've drilled hundreds of times this year. Smurfette beautifully gets into the back lines, and that's a tough job as a Jet. You are always half blind. It's all about that target selection. So Ness getting that tag, making things easy for their Jet.
We were just getting a meow, 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 meow. I'm gonna have to listen to that one back.
Must be a fan of Yinsu.
Okay, I also like meowing like that. Okay, that's good. It's good for vibes. Vibes right now, probably not good for ALG. Probably a little bit of a rough one, but time to buy up what you can, right? Get all the pennies together. Try and get something.
Working with scraps out here, Lauren.
Yep. Hey, look, Buckies have done wild things. Stingers.
In M3 on Ascent, far back in spawn. We'll see what Muffin can do with that one. I'd like to see Ginny and Muffin sticking together, some sort of pod flash to dash forward, but 3 members, they've got to take care of this drone. Don't get tagged.
Someone. Oh, damn. Just absolutely whipping the shot on the drone. But they are going to kind of draw in the additional player. Again, Muffin is just off again, so not overly fighting on this. Maybe feeling this isn't the final destination.
Yeah, a lot of decisions to be made. You can see Muffin going back and forth, not knowing exactly what site she wants to commit to here. It's all in GX's control, completely controlling the pace here.
Just trying to clear through CAD. This is
is
a
a good
position for a
spot.
Bucky.
Yeah.
That's much better. Okay, Muffin, time to shine. One and done, but you'll take it at this point.
Oh,
You
boy.
see no man's land. Court crossing back through, leaving Ginny pretty isolated here. Big info, but she's got to do some serious damage. And the shot not coming in. This is looking like it's all but done. Down to 2 players. Shimilu, the last one alive to make that final stand. As Giant X correct the ship after map 1 looked really ropey, really close. Looks like this might be time for a statement. Shimilu, what can you do with this one? A 1v4 post plant, and there is a firing squad ready and waiting. Giant X in the end with a clean map 2 at 13-1.
And if you're Giant X, this is exactly what you want to showcase, especially after that first day, how close that series was. This is a dominant statement piece for Giants coming through on the second day, letting everyone know, hey, that was a little shaky, but we're here, we're back, and the experience just showing through. GX, there was a couple moments in that early in the first half where maybe it could have got dicey, but they were in full control.
They absolutely were. They stayed in control there, and you saw that experience kind of coming into map 2. Okay, yeah, map 1 was close, no worries. Map 2's ours. There's our comfort pick coming in of Ascent, and it looked really good in their hands. But I do want to highlight how competitive map 1 was. If you just tuned in for map 2, I forgive you for not thinking it was as competitive as it was. Map 1, the team on your screen, ALG, put up a fantastic fight. The difference of 1 or 2 rounds totally changed the outcome. They should be proud of map 1, map 2. Hey, get that map B token a little more flush. That would have been fantastic. But the winners of Giant X, I mean, map 1, they fought through all those issues, those fantastic rounds. And then map 2, I mean, they looked untouchable.
They did, and it's always nice to see that sort of progression from both sides of the mix, right? We saw those adjustments coming through, that ISO kind of throwing everyone in for a loop, the curveballs, but that adjustment, I love it. The Viper was not something that you can just be ready for at all times on Haven, so I like the fact that ALG did make it competitive.
Yeah, this is a team to watch, and I'm sure Giant X now want to keep going in this fashion. Ascent has sent a message. I think teams will now be a little bit more worried about keeping that in the map pool against them. And maybe, just maybe, map after map, game after game, they can keep getting stronger. As said, gotta say for me, Jelena having a fantastic performance here, Christine. She looked exceptionally good on map 1. Map 2 still safe pair of hands. I mean, everyone from Giant X definitely stepped up.
Yeah, and it's good to see that Smurfette warmed up into her role as well. Forward as hell on that duelist, and you know, she's played all of them so far. The Raze, the Neon, the Jet, the ISO, so she's warming up into it.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get, I think even the team aren't sure. They're like, no, we still here? We're still here. We're still chilling. We just needed extra time with you guys, you know? That's on you guys. You finished so quickly. I mean, it's got to feel good. After that first game they had as well, a rough one, right? If you think back to kind of how that must have felt going through the motions in that first series and being tipped as one of the higher end teams. It couldn't have been a comfortable situation with high expectations on you, having a little bit of a, I don't want to say upset because, upsets do happen, but again, it's one of those where, for them, this is course correction, it feels like.
Yeah, and that triple kill that we just saw. This highlight reel is going to be a lot of Jolina clips. You already touched on it, Lauren, but from that pistol round to that 3-kill towards that B site, that completely changed any sort of momentum that ALG looked like they may or may not have cooked up.
All right, let's send it down to Yinzu, down on the stage. They are standing by with Smurfette for the Verizon post-match interview.
A crazy dominant finish that was from the side of Giant X. I'm now joined by their star duelist, Smurfette. First of all, Smurfette, congratulations. Welcome back, by the way, to Game Changers Champs. How does this stage compare to the last time you were here?
I think last time's stage was better, I'm not gonna lie. This time is a bit simple, I didn't like it, but it's okay.
And what are the vibes like, I guess, because it's a different team. You have different teammates this time around, and how different or maybe similar is that for you?
I mean, I think it's the same. I still have Ness with me, so that's why I think it's still the same.
Oh, was that Ness? I think I just heard her screaming from over there. Now, the first game we saw you guys on this stage it was kind of like a weird off day, from the way where we were sitting. Was that the same for you? Did you feel like that was more of a unusual way of you guys playing on stage?
Oh, it was definitely off day for us, and we didn't get used to the stage, and we came to Germany really late and we couldn't practice enough, which is not an excuse, I swear.
Okay, so it was a warm-up, right? You needed a little bit of time to warm up into it. Now you have warmed up into it. What did you make of the performance today?
Well, I'm happy about our Ascent game. Haven was like, ... We don't talk about Haven.
Your Ascent is always good, though. We have full faith in you whenever you play Ascent. And one thing I do want to highlight, last time you were on the Game Changers Champ stage, dare I say it, the Jet, it was a bit of a Jet over and over, a one-tricking almost. And this time around, you're playing absolutely everything.
Yeah, I grew up eventually.
You enjoying it?
I am enjoying it.
And is the Jet still, your favorite? You got other things you prefer to play?
Oh, definitely. Jet is still my favorite.
After all this time?
Yeah.
Okay, what about the other duelists that you haven't played? You want to dip into that?
I'm not an arena player, so I don't know. And I tried ISO, and it was just kind of weird. So
you didn't enjoy the ISO?
Not really.
Oh, why?
I don't know, because I played after the nerf, maybe that's why. You need to buff. I mean, don't buff, never mind. Oh, you can buff Neon.
We can buff Neon? Smurf. I feel like a lot of people watching this just groaned at that. Now, your next match, you're going to be playing against a team you've never played against before on GCC. They looked pretty good as well, they've warmed up into the game too. So what do you make of Crew? Do you know much about them?
I barely watched their game, but I think they're a really good team. I watched their only G2 game. I mean, they're a good team, but if it's our day, I think it's going to be a good match.
And last question before I let you go. Miori was talking about how the reason you're in the lower bracket is because you want to beat every team, which I think is fair. You come all the way here, you want to play against everybody, but just tell us how difficult it is to be in the lower bracket. You've been there before, you managed to make final, a couple of times, but is it still hard, you think, to be in this position?
I mean, we are so used to playing on the lower brackets, so it just doesn't feel different at all, to be honest. It just feels like it's our first game, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, we are so used to losing, so yeah.
So it's like second nature, doesn't faze you, you're not pressured.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. Thank you very much for joining me, Smurf, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
One more time, you guys, Smurfette.
Oh, I absolutely love her vibes. And especially since, she's keeping it humble still. She's like, oh yeah, it was good, but maybe not that good. Especially since, they know they're in this lower bracket run. And they know that they have a long, long journey ahead of them this week.
Yeah, but finally, Giant X gets their first win after a first day that was very complicated and a first map that was also very complicated. But they're on Ascent, probably the most dominant win that we've had in the tournament so far, in a map where they've always felt very comfortable.
Yeah, I think we saw this as a team with high standards for the stage, for the gameplay. It doesn't matter. They expect the best. And, well, there's certainly some things they can improve on in that first map. I think it's hard to find any notes for the second.
Yeah, but I feel like, one note that you might have, Mitch, is that maybe Ness didn't bring out the Odin enough.
Right? It can always be more, but I do feel like Ness did a pretty good job pulling out that big old gun. And we know this. We had the stat, Kukuka, you brought it up in the pre-map, about, 37%. There it is again. Oh, no, it's 67% this time. So she'd upped it. I think it was 37 the first time, right? So Odin was much more prevalent, and I think a big reason for that is they're often losing like 13-7, 13-8 on this map against G2 and Falcons. So they're losing rounds, which means money is harder to come by. But when they're winning, that Odin is out every round it can be.
Exactly. I mean, they got the pistol, they won the bonus. She brought a Vandal, and then she dropped it because she knew that we were watching, that we were expecting the Odin. It's such a reliable weapon for her that we can understand if she has the chance, why not just keep bringing it?
And what was interesting was there was even a setup inside B main where you had Ness crouched with the Odin and another player, I think it was Miori, behind her in a firing squad with the Vandal. I mean, that is suppressive fire on another level.
Oh my gosh, classic. And I'm glad that I was here to see that because you guys were hyping up this play. There will be a lot more.
There's going to be lots more.
I would love to be there for it, especially since I'm not convinced that we've actually seen the best of Giant X just yet. I feel like they're just ramping up. And as humble as Smurfette was in that interview, like they still have, more to offer for this.
Oh yeah, and that's also the kind of sentiment that they have to take out of today, right? You had that difficult first day. We knew and we heard it from Smurfette as well that they haven't had that much time to prep and get everything ready, but you don't have time. If you manage to win tomorrow and continue on that lower bracket run, you will get a couple of days to get some rest, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's an intense schedule, right? And that's why we also have to say, like, for all of the teams here, props to them for being here, right? Unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to FlyQuest Red and to ALG, but I do think that they did put their best, their best foot forward during these matches.
I do think FlyQuest Red, looking at the upper bracket matchup, it's going to haunt them a little bit how close they were to taking it across the line against Ipto, but at the end of the day, they did put on a good performance, having to play that lower bracket match with a sub as well. I think Lace can be extremely proud of what she brought to that stage, fitting in very well. The breach that Sonder had before was very, very solid, and I think you didn't really notice that much of a difference here today in that.
I feel like it is not the last that we're going to see from them, right? I expect to see them next year, and that really, like, the result doesn't really tell the story. Yes, they go out 0-2. They did manage to get a couple of maps that they've been playing against all Pacific. They just couldn't take Pacific.
Yeah.
You would know about it.
I would definitely know about it. And for ALG, it's unfortunate that we have to say goodbye to them, especially since, much like FlyQuest, they also had to play with some circumstances that weren't exactly up to, the plans that they had for today.
But again, coming into the tournament with just 3 maps and playing against the caliber of teams that we have here, we have legacy already built up here. I think it's a great learning experience. They were saying it themselves that that's how they were taking it, and Shimiru got to play as well. So I'm happy for them, and honestly, I again expect to see them next year.
And one other thing to add as well, the fact that the player that they lost was effectively, it's a brand new role, the translator. And when you lose that and then you have to play a map that you haven't played before, that you don't have the foundational understanding of how to react to certain things, those things have to be communicated. That's tough when you've lost your translator. So it's not a full excuse. We did see their split the other day and it wasn't exactly sublime. Maybe it would have been the same with or without 1 HP. The reality is, they had a lot of roadblocks here, and I think especially in map 1, at least, they put their best foot forward.
Yeah, this is a team that's still very, very raw, and at this state, they were still able to be here. They were still able to go up against Giant X and so many other teams. So I would say very, very impressive. I hope that these players continue.
We have seen it in the past. We all lived through the days where China could not get a map of anyone.
It's happening here, is it?
We were there when it was slowly skyrocketing, and a couple of months ago, we were giving them a Champions Trophy, so watch out.
Yeah. It's definitely something that, it has happened in the past. It can happen again. But for now, let's take a look at our bracket, which now only has 8 teams left in the running. The competition is going to be even more intense because coming up tomorrow, we've got 2 more elimination games. I just love to see how the teams and the players change under all of this pressure when the safety net is just pulled out from under them.
Oh yeah, and it really was. In terms of today, I actually thinking back to the Mastercard fan poll we had earlier on, shout out once again to the 8.6% of people who had it right. Y'all knew Zeta were taking it here today, and well, I'm proud to be part of that group.
I have to say, I'm actually happy I am not working tomorrow because I see myself losing and winning in both of these scenarios because, yes, Falcons, I think they still have a lot to prove. We talked about the stories there. What we saw today from Zeta was on a different level. Like, it is one of those stories, right, that you take out of the tournament. This is one of the core memories. And then for the Giant X crew, I'm not even going to say it because you know what I'm thinking. I'm not going to racially profile myself.
Well, there you have it. You have matches to look out for tomorrow, and we're going to see you all there. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow once again from here, from Berlin, from Game Changers Champions 2024. Bye! For FlyQuest, you have such experienced names ready to prove that they belong here. They cannot go home this early. And for Zeta, the pride of an entire region on their shoulders. All of the Japanese fans have their hopes on this roster. Who's it going to be?
Starbound finding opener. Serena with the swing. 1 is good. 2 is even better. She's at 3 for the round. And Moku's going to be there in a 1 versus 1. Starbound with the clutches. Starbound's easily able to find a ghost kill. Akko swings out here, beautifully done, but it's going to take more. Moko's found 3 and still once again aggressive up on this one. It's got to be Moko! An ace for Zeta Division! There's the push out of Garage. Now they can wrap towards mid. Lace eventually deals with Moko, but man, she cannot be shifted. Finds herself in a 1 versus 5 with Tail. Insurmountable odds. FlyQuest bring Lace into the lineup, and they don't miss a beat. They wait for Serena, now deal with the rest of them. Neural theft at the corpse, and Suzu wraps on it to fight. Devastating! Zeta Division with yet another round on the trot. Dodo is chasing. See very quickly, Zeta back away in that area. Laso elsewhere. Pick up on Moko over towards that Paul's side. Suzu finds 2, make it 3. Now has to try and clutch it out. Dodo, oh, that is an alley-oop if I've ever seen one. It's at half as well, it's at half. Give it a tickle, Lace comes out and still wins it. They were forced to break the recon, make noise. Timing. Oh my goodness, the timing. Moko with 1 more. Japan has secured their first map in an international. And a game changes championship. We're going all the way. Can't really jump spot, you can't jiggle peek because you might go down, and there goes Thea. Here's the flash. Paranoia also in the boathouse now. If there's a swing, it's a kill for Suzu. Into the breach they go. And Dodona is waiting for the operator to show, but Lace takes a swing. And from Speedway, Moko's there. It's just so patient. FlyQuest have weapons as well. They can really work with this. Moko TP's into her own smoke. Wins that out. How does she win that? A second as well. Oh my goodness, Moko. Makes it up. FlyQuest are broken. And there it is. For GCC 24, Japan have finally arrived. Suzu has finally been able to win a series at a GCC.
Final match of the day, and another team will be going home. Will it be Giant X, or will the home crowd cheers carry them through? Or for the sole representatives from BCTC, and will the ambition of ALG pull through this time around?
No idea if the attackers are very close or very far, and what a shot from Mayori.
Yeah, prying that side open, but Yusin is still here, still standing tall. Maybe she can follow up. She can! Immaculate impact already. Oh, finally finding more. An ace would need 1 more, but she's only got 8 HP. Sarah has to walk into the line instead, and Yusin is there, keeping hope alive for ALG. Ginny is still here. They've got to know someone's still around. The flash, it's not going to affect the player she wanted, but she's still alive. How's she gotten away with it? How is she alive? Ginny, get out of here, Ginny! She shouldn't have been alive, and she's still firing. Brings this back to maybe a realm of possibility. possibility for Lane, but this is difficult, this is tough. Tries to isolate more, can't happen. Giant X pull it back in from the brink at a 13-10 victory. Jelena is here, smokes in play as well. Could pop a quick smoke down. Paranoia unaffected. Jelena just gonna hold the line. Oh, the catwalk, and absolutely walks through all three of them. Giant X in control. The lockdown goes back in for second. Smurfette is there. Now a 1v2. Chimilu is sat on the site waiting this one out, dropping down on one, sees them, but can't deal with it. Smurfette breaking hearts. Giant X in the end with a clean map 2 at 13-1.
And if you're Giant X, this is exactly what you want to showcase, especially after that first day, how close that series was. This is a dominant statement piece.
Angels descend, no mortal could prevent what's hellbound and heaven sent. Could they now? But who are they to think to stand out in our way amidst destruction and decay? Anyway.